What's good, YouTube? This is Salada, and today I'll be talking about, man, I don't really got no topic. It's just gonna be some freestyle shit. It's gonna be some freestyle shit. Alright, so over the past days, this week, actually this week, this is gonna be a full moon Taurus eclipse. So, everything gonna be grounded and shit like that. But before we get to that topic, just going about like the events and experiences I've been through. As you becoming more aware and broader as we go through life as we should. It ain't nothing wrong with growing and shit like that. When niggas hate you or got an issue with you for you being yourself or growing, they really the problem and shit like that. You should not feel no type of way of you just being yourself or you just being like, it be like the shit like you just be sitting on like anywhere or when it's quiet. Niggas get uncomfortable and shit like that because they got some other issues with them and they like to project on people. But my main point is like you never let nobody make you feel uncomfortable for being yourself. And that also clicks on to the Aries moon, which is today. Tomorrow about to be Taurus, and then also North Node. But besides astrology, it's just reality. Like, don't let nobody try to tell you this and tell you that or make you feel like you weird for being yourself and shit like that. But yeah, like over the past or the past days, I've been experiencing like shit like that, like little phony ass shit. But besides bitching and shit like that, like getting your feelings and shit like that, you gotta have value in yourself, have standards and shit like that, and then also take the time to learn about yourself. And it's Scorpio season, and that plays a part too. Shit, Scorpio season, doing shadow work and tapping into why did this happen? How can I better myself? Because you complaining about the external and shit like that makes you a bitch. But what you gonna do about it? Because as speaking from a person from a man point of view, you can't be bitching and shit like that. You gotta do shit because it's a masculine energy. You gotta keep on going and shit like that. But also like you gotta take time with yourself. Like, okay, how can I fix this? And I can fix that. And from like coming from me, like I like to do things and make shit perfect, and also like to kind of rush into it. But like I learned over time and experiencing, is take your fucking time. It ain't no rush to this shit. It ain't no rush to growth. It's like a baby walking. Like a baby doesn't hop out the pussy and shit like that, hop out the asshole and then starts to walk. It takes time. It takes 9 months. And also go into numerology, number 9 individuals and shit like that, becoming wise. So it takes some time to gain wisdom through the process and shit like that. And yeah, going through experiences, seeing like different changes and shit like that, like the whole environment, like this shit, wow, like it be like gloomy, but then it'd be like sunny, then gloomy, then sunny. Like there'd be like a lot of shifts and shit like that. Shit crazy. And of course that's a collective from a globe, from a rolly view, and then a collective from a group view, which I like to say soul group, but I don't like to say soul group because I don't want to saturate it. Shout out to Dolo, because he created a soul group term, and it's spirituality, individuality, everything online and shit like that. But I don't like to saturate it. But like everybody that's on this type of level, that's like becoming individuals and shit like that, like it's like a collective. Like you gonna have some humans change and shit like that, but like the people that actually trying to put in the work and shit like that, be themselves, is really gonna change and shit like that. But I just know like different the wet, it's like a transit weather. I like to say esoteric weather or like transit weather and shit like that. Like the alignments in the skies, like it be gloomy or like so-called depressing, and then it'd be sunny and shit like that. And whenever you feel like you depressed or whatever, that's just a fucking thought. Like these thoughts and feelings aren't yours. You just make it. It's like, because the spirit is nothing. And people try to say, a thought, I'm in my feelings, I'm in my thoughts. Like, yeah, you in it, but that's not you. And then also you don't, like, this energy, the spirit don't create the spirit's not the energy. The spirit makes the energy. So you don't have these thoughts and feelings and shit like that. So whatever you depressed or whatever, like take your, like your ass is probably not doing nothing. Cause I experienced that. Like you can be in that type of state where you like depressed and shit like that. But the only reason why you depressed because you're not doing nothing. You're not putting it in motion. It's like water. Stale ass water not moving. It's gonna be depressed and stink and have some stenches and shit like that. But when it's moving in the current, it's gonna be fresh. So like, you know, I experienced that. Like I noticed the alignments in the skies. It was kind of gloomy, foggy and shit like that. But I still like, you know, did my shit. You know, take your ass outside, get some fresh air, no matter what. You know, it's better than be inside gloomy and shit like that, and then taking your ass outside, even though it's gloomy, but you still walking around, you still stretching, you still stretching your space and shit like that. But I experienced that, and also just in the like mainly like the collective, like coming from an Aquarius moon, like that shit really intense. Like you can like pick up on people's expressions and vibes and shit like that. Like that shit is shit different. But noticing that, like the collective and shit like that, like it'd be like a lot of shit. But I feel like I'm saying like humans like to stay in that type of state where it's like all comfortable. And that goes apart with, I was going to say, like, when you come out your mama's pussy or your ass and shit like that, you can't be comfortable crawling all day. You got to walk. And then when you walk, you run. Because you're not going to be in that state forever. And, like, I know it's, like, or, like, a lot of humans and shit like that, whatever you're trying to do to evolve or whatever, become a bigger space, it's like it go against it, whatever. But then that's like the real fight, though. Mainly. That's the real fight, what's going on. But it's not like all too serious. You can't let that shit get too like big headed and shit like that. Cause like we still in reality. You gotta go get your 1-2s. But like you just gotta let it be known like that shit really be the main thing. But to each his own, like shit gonna change regardless. Cause you can't stop all possibilities. And also shit. Yeah, that. And yeah, that's pretty much. Oh yeah, the Taurus eclipse. That shit finna be fired like a motherfucker. It's best, of course, every eclipse you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like I said in Libra, but like this eclipse is like mainly about being grounded, having stability and shit like that. So like being stable around your environment. Being stable internally, being stable emotionally and mentally, financially, anything that does with earth energy, you know, be stable. And you know, it's good to like relax. Don't stress yourself out too much around this type of eclipse. Just be chill, and whatever you feel cranky or whatever, like take your ass a nap. A nap won't be that bad, or take your ass a bath. You know, relax. It ain't that big of a deal. Whatever you going through, like, it might seem like you going through like a lot of bullshit, whatever. But like that bullshit might be that moment. But then when a couple of weeks or months pass by, that shit really don't really matter like that. Like, yeah, it's the past. It affected you, but like the present moment, like, are you still breathing? Like, be thankful. Be thankful for the simple things. You still breathing. And you still moving, you know? You still able to like get your 1-2 and walk around and shit like that and do what you gotta do in reality. So like whatever you're going through right now, don't take it so harsh on yourself. Take it easy. And yeah, I hit the collective, the environments, transits, you know, your thoughts and feelings. Cause those ties in, because like if you depending on your sign or whatever, or depending on your environment, you know, there be like a lot of energies and shit flying around and shit like that, and like whatever you pick up, it's not yours. Like you gotta be you have to have a broader spirit to discern, and also self-awareness, which ties to societal work, to help yourself and know which is which and shit like that. And and the transits. Yeah, those ties together. The transits, unite your thoughts and feelings, and also shit, the collective. Because you not your thoughts and feelings, and then you in the collective, you in the world, you got going on the world, and then in the transits and shit like that. So just be aware. That's why I learned through I'm going through and shit like that. Picking up different energies and then seeing the transits, how they play, how different outlooks and lenses are, and then also like being around the collective, and especially as an Aquarius moon, how I see things through individuals and how they like behave, because you can't be all by yourself. Like I experienced me being like sheltered, and then also like being isolated, but that's not cool at all, like being so isolated and shit like that. And then you gotta experience and shit like that. And like me, I don't really like to talk to people unless we doing something in real life, like if we're building or whatever, because like all that small talk that don't really go nowhere. Like yeah, we might laugh and giggle, but like it's not really no time to laugh and giggle if we got stuff to do. Like we can be doing stuff and working when we laugh and giggle, but like I don't really do small talk. But I don't really like talk to people. But you know, just to be realistic, you gotta talk. You can't be all sheltered and not talk. So going out and then talking to people and exploring and stuff like that, and seeing how things are and how people behave.